Pakistan, Assalamu alaikum, and the whole world. This is Sister Zeph talking to you from Lisbon, Portugal, and I have a very interesting interview today. Although this is not my job, Taiba Sadiq is the anchor person of the program, but I have met Pastor Miriam here in Lisbon, and she is a wonderful human being. Our purpose to have this channel, The Eagle Woman, is to introduce you to the unsung heroines of our world. Let's meet Pastor Miriam.
Thank you. Hello everybody. Nice to communicate with you. Thanks to Sister Zeph.
So tell me about your life. How would you like to introduce yourself to the world?
Well, I'm a minister of a Presbyterian church in Portugal. I have lived most of my life around Lisbon, and I work in the church for some times, almost more than 30 years in the church as a minister. And the things I like most to do on the whole mission as a minister is to connect people with other people, to bring people together, and also to be helpful for everybody that needs help, all kinds of help. So I think it's also our mission.
This is so wonderful. That's why I wanted to have this opportunity to interview you so that more people can know about your amazing impact. And by the way, this is what Kai Seed is doing. I was invited here by Kai Seed to attend the graduation ceremony. Here I have been taking training for almost 18 months. And the goal of Kai Seed is also to spread the peace in the world, to create connections, and this is because of Kai Seed that I'm sitting next to you today.
and I thank Kai Seed also for that opportunity, because
yes,
otherwise we wouldn't have met.
Exactly.
And to bring people to sharing each other's ways of lives, points of view, it's very, very important. And also we got human beings, people in full presence, that would not be so easy. Of course, internet can help to connect, to go further in the communications, but there's nothing like two human beings meeting each other around the table. Or
you are a single mom of two.
Yes.
What would you like to say, since Zvi Foundation has been working to uplift women in Pakistan, in rural areas? So in this context, what would you like to say as a woman? What do you think, what is the difference of a woman in Europe and then in the developing country, and how your life has been here?
Well, I have lived all my life here, so I don't know well the reality in other countries, but I think in the basic we always felt a little bit helpful. We don't have all the... Sometimes there are things that we cannot do, and not things that we cannot do. We are afraid of not being able to do all we have to do, to raise our families and to do our job, to do your mission, and to be yourselves, because that's all in one. If we cannot really be effective in our mission, in our work, also all comes down. We are the column,
yes,
the column of the family. That's very important, because it's also, everybody knows it's better to be two people than one alone. It is in the Proverbs. It's better to be two than one, because if there is two, if one falls, the other brings it up. And of course, two people are much more effective, even for evangelism. Jesus said, go 2 by 2.
Yes.
He didn't say, go alone. No, he said, go 2 by 2. So when there's two people working together, the amount then we are happy.
It's so beautiful.
Yeah.
And I would like to share with our audience that uh, yesterday when I had a plan to visit her and she went to pick me up, I think it was more than 20 minutes drive.
Yeah, no, it's about that.
Okay. So she went, we had a conversation and she invited me at her home, and I didn't know because I move around in the world a lot, but these are always the organizations that arrange, that make all the arrangements. So I don't know how to travel alone, and when she went by herself to pick me up, and since then it has been almost, I think 16 or 17 hours we are together at her home, and I have told her many times that I feel like home, I feel like home, because
It's
then-
your home also now.
thank you so much. And it is also because of Kaisid that now we have become lifetime friends and sisters.
Of course, yes.
Yes, so it's a beautiful experience. I
But
really
it's
love it.
not the first time I say that.
Yes.
I said that when you visit my church.
Yes,
See,
exactly.
I
You
said that you brought light to my day because she was challenging our way, the Christianity we live in Europe, that we cannot let it down. It's true that Christianity is losing participants, members here around Europe a lot, but I don't say this is the last word of God. This is not. But also it was said in that church, it is important that people from other continents bring it back again. We need to rediscover the brightness of this way. That there's no end. That, then women, many struggle to survive in jobs and work. Sometimes it's easier, sometimes it's not easy at all. Sometimes people stay stuck and they think that they have no life in front of them for the future, to get better, to open the day, to have hope, to have fulfillment. And this is hard, of course. Many times when there is children, there's more demands, and but because people don't feel happy, also they don't improve so well in their jobs, and they feel depressed. So depression, it's a big problem, at least in our country. Many people have to take pills to sleep or to work or to function. This is a big challenge to our societies in European countries. Of course, it affects everybody inside and outside of the churches. And there's nobody that feels discriminated for being single. No, not at all, because it's so normal today. But I think this brings difficulties financially for women to thrive, to survive, and to bring the families in the best way. My country is, of course, the best I know. I travel sometimes, but it's different every country in Europe to deal with these things. For instance, a country like, I think, France or a Nordic country, they have other kind of social support for single mothers that we in Portugal we have very few support like that. So to overcome the lack of financial income when a person is a single mother. So this is one of the needs of our society here. This is the biggest challenge.
And you were talking about the discrimination. I have been to European countries before, but here I have seen in the Portugal, in the Lisbon, I have seen that on the roads when we go by, literally, we see a lot of people of all the religions, all the regions, and all the skin colors.
Yes.
And everybody feels so, everybody, I mean, they seem so open for each another. And
Yes.
I mean, maybe this is the country where people are what is that in some time maybe they will forget this term, the discrimination. I have
Yes.
seen so much acceptance for the
Yes,
diversity
yes.
here.
Well, the diversity in a place like Lisbon, that it's a cosmopolitan place of meeting people from different parts of the world since 500 years ago.
Yes.
500 years ago. It's not just from now. But 500 years ago, when it was all this connection with the other parts of the world, like Africa, Asia, Americas, and all that, there was always people coming here from all these places. But since we could say the 70s, when there was the discolonization from Portuguese colonies in Africa, and people who were living there, that they came here, and especially in this area where I live, there's people from all colors, from all religion, and we like to live in peace as families, as nice people, nice neighbors.
Morning, you and I were talking, and you said a very beautiful sentence. You said, basically, we are all one. We just spread in the whole corner, in the each corner of the world.
Of the world.
We are all, in the beginning, we
Yes.
are all one, and we need to understand that in order to live peacefully with
Yes.
each another.
Sometimes different taste of fruits. It's a big tree that gives wonderful, tasty fruits everywhere. Good luck.
In Pakistan, why I feel proud to be a Pakistani, that the other day I was having lunch or dinner with some people, and I was telling them that, some diplomats from the Portugal embassy, they came to join the ceremony, and I was sitting with them, and I was saying, I mean, it's sometimes it feels very difficult to stay away from Pakistan, because we live in the joint families, we have people all around, and everybody is there on your one call, everybody is there to support you, to help you. And yes, you are right. I agree that in some cultures, some people feel alone, but in Pakistan, we all of us are so much connected with each other as a society and as a family.
The family.
Yes, yes.
Here the families became so narrow, so narrow. Sometimes it's only the parents and the children, and then when the children have their own life, sometimes they keep in connection, but sometimes no. So they, even the brothers and sisters, when they marry, they have their family, they don't get along so much often. So even the level of the cousins, we sometimes miss a lot to meet each other and to have connections. So the narrowing of the family, I think, in our European culture is big. I think it is worse in other countries like Portugal.
Yes, and but in other terms of when you say the families are getting narrow, I think in other terms it has its own benefits, because then people have privacy, then they have more time to work harder and to achieve their goals. So I think every culture has its own beauty.
But I think the most interhelp you have between generations, it's better for young people to have their grandfather, their grandparents, and it's good for grandparents to the fulfillment of the grandchildren. This is like becoming new again, young again. All grandparents say the same. So I think it is for life. It's not a culture thing. It's something very essential, and also to pass through some basic things. Sometimes parents are too busy to do that, but grandparents, they worry that they pass the fundamental values to the grandchildren, and many times the grandchildren later in age, they recognize, they admire, they say, oh, this came from my grandmother or my grandfather. They cherish. If they didn't have this connection, they would be much poorer as a person. So that connection of generations, I think, is something we need to rediscover in our special, because also the single families that sometimes they have no way to overcome difficulties.
Exactly, like, see, I'm here and I'm achieving a lot. Many international organizations are giving recognition to my work, but it would not be possible without the support of my family. See, I'm thousands of miles away from my little children.
Yes,
both of
yes,
them are
yes.
toddlers, and my mother is there to take care of them.
Yes,
and I'm not
yes,
worried
yes.
for their protection or for anything.
Yes,
Yes.
but so that's not for that, but also for a joy to grow, in all generations with each other.
So, at the end, what message would you like to give to our audience? What is in your heart that you always wanted to say?
Well, what I'd like to say is that we are always learning. Since we were born until the end of our lives, we are always learning, and we learn with so many things. Even like a meeting of a unknown, totally unknown person that we were 1 week before.
We did not have even idea that we are going to meet in a
And
little generation.
now you're my family.
Thank you so much.
So it is good that when I remember because I participated in interreligious dialogue for a long time. I remember I think it was from India, Mozambique, something. He told me it is when we arrive to a place and we see a person, that person is yourself. And I never forget that feeling. He's not from my Christian faith, but I'm sure that Jesus will agree totally with that.
Beautiful, beautiful. So, once again, I want to thanks to Kaisid for having me here in this beautiful country, so I could have an opportunity to meet so many beautiful and wonderful people from all the religious backgrounds, for all the cultures, and thanks to the people of Portugal for all the affection, the love, and the respect they have given me. I'm also thankful to the people of Pakistan who have always been there, like my family, to help me in my work, and a special thanks to Government of Pakistan for recognizing my work by sending the representative from the embassy of Pakistan in Portugal to recognize my work and this achievement that I have been given by Kaisid. And special thanks to you, ma'am, and my sister.
We are blessed. We are blessed. The end of all is that we are blessed.
Thank you very
Blessed
much.
people. Thank you also.